Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Hi, this is Cornell again.
Hi, Cornell. How are you?
I'm okay.
So
I am
where?
yeah, I am ready to continue English lesson.
Awesome. And where are you calling from?
From Hungary. It is located.
Hungary.
Yeah, Hungary.
Okay, so you'll know this. Let me show you this picture. That's right. You said you were from Hungary. Do you recognize that?
Yeah. Do you know Puskás?
I don't know the name in Finnish. I mean, in Hungary, but
Yeah.
this little guy was actually I say he's a little dog because
uh,
he was born in Hungary, and
yeah.
then
Yeah.
and then when he was 8 weeks old, he moved to Finland,
Mhm.
and then I got him right before he turned 3, and then when he was after he turned 6, he moved to the States. So
Mhm.
he lived with a Finnish family for the first 3 years, and then he's been with me the rest of the time. So, uh, but a Hungarian Pumi, uh,
Yeah.
and most people when they see him, they think he's a poodle, and I tell them no, he's from Hungary. So you've seen this kind of dog?
Mhm.
Have you seen this kind of dog?
Not yet.
You've never? It's
No.
it's a it's a Hungarian sheepdog.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Puli is a Hungarian dog. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, he's Pumic. He's a Pumi.
Yeah. Yeah. It is similar to Puli.
Yeah, it's a cousin, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, cousin. But
Yeah,
I know
I think Pumi is a bit less than Puli.
less as what far as what.
Yeah, size.
Yeah, probably smaller.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I,
smaller. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
I've only seen one pulley, and they were about the same size. So, but and my Pumi is actually quite small. But
Yeah.
right now there's only 200 right now in the U.S.
Mhm.
And so he's a grandfather now in the U.S. So
Yeah. Yeah.
anyway,
It is very interesting. You have a Hungarian dog in USA.
yeah, and well, a Hungarian dog who actually was born in Hungary,
Mm.
raised in Finland, and the dog is a what? A rarity, yeah. And raised in Finland, and when he first moved in with me,
Mhm.
had never been around English, and so I had to learn the Finnish commands. So now when I get mad at him,
Mhm.
I speak Finnish to him. You know,
Mhm.
like, what do you want? I'll say it in Finnish, and my Finnish is probably really bad and has a bad what do you call it?
Yeah.
American accent. But
Yeah.
anyway, hello, Alan. How is Hong Kong today?
Yes, the weather is good.
Is it
Now it's 4:05 in Hong Kong, 4:05 p.m.
really? It's wow. It's kind of late. And where? What's the weather like right now?
It's a sunny day and really hot.
Okay. All right. And then Cornell, you're in Hungary. What's the weather like in Hungary right now?
Yeah. Autumn is coming, and it is raining cats and dogs. So weather is horrible at the
Oh, I'm
moment.
sorry. So it's better to be inside studying English, right?
Yeah.
So, okay. And Igor, what's it like where you're at in Siberia?
Weather?
Yeah.
The weather is fine right now.
Uh-huh.
I think it's plus 23
Oh,
Bravo.
wow. Okay, so that's perfect actually. Okay. And hi, Joe. How are you? And let me remember, you're right now in KSA, right? And you were educated in Egypt. Okay. He's getting.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
Remind me, you are Kingdom of Saudi Arabia now, right?
No, I'm from Egypt.
Egypt. Oh, okay. I got you confused with somebody else.
No problem.
So what's the weather right now in Egypt?
Actually, it's hot.
It's hot.
Yeah, it's 9 o'clock and it's hot.
Hot. Okay.
I got the air conditioner on in order
Okay.
to not sweat.
Yeah.
You are very lucky.
Really, actually, I don't like hot. I don't like hot weather.
You need to move to Iceland.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Isn't it like even cold? What's the coldest? Oh, well, the North Pole. So anyway, that might be the coldest area.
Really?
So Aldi, what's the weather like right now in your country?
The weather is teacher always hot here because the weather is not stable in Saudi Arabia. It's a
Uh-huh.
very kind of irritating and moody weather.
Does it ever? It rains there though, right?
Maybe it happened like after 5 and 6 years, maybe one time.
Oh wow. Okay, it is part of the desert. That makes sense. So, yeah.
Last time it happened, I mean, rain before, I guess, 4 years ago, and it was raining like a dog and cat, and lots of people also died in that rain because
Wow.
they didn't have kind of.
Yeah, because they weren't prepared.
Yeah.
It's like when it snows in Florida, or Spain. So
Yes.
yeah, and Andre, what is the weather like right now in the Ukraine?
It's very pleasant now. It's sky is without clouds, pretty clear, and pretty quite warm, warm, about 20 degrees.
20 degrees. Okay. Yeah, I like 20 degrees. That's to me the perfect weather. And I heard, I mean, I didn't hear, when I traveled to Bogota, Colombia 5 years ago, I was giving a presentation to the Ministry of Education there. It's a government agency, and they told me, now Holly, don't tell anybody how beautiful it is here. And it is year-round 20 degrees. And I'm like, oh, I want to move there because it was beautiful weather all the time. So anyway, all right.
Weather looks like in paradise.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So paradise to me is 20 degrees, but to somebody else that might be too cold. So I guess it depends on them. So today, for this lesson, what I thought I'd go over is I have a series of classes, and I thought if I taught at the same time or around the same time every week, I would teach on small talk and social English. And when I first moved to Finland in 1998, they asked us to teach a small talk class, and my colleagues and I looked at each other and said, "What's that? How do you teach that?" And we started. We talked to each other amongst my British colleagues, and we realized that small talk and social English is actually for many of us, it is natural to just talk, but not for everybody. In fact, I personally think that this course would benefit even native speakers of English who do have trouble with small talk. Do any of you guys struggle with socializing in English or having to talk to somebody and you just don't know what to say?
Yes, I do.
Do you, Joe?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have this problem.
Okay. Anybody else? So I have a former well, she was a classmate of mine in college, and then she worked with me in Korea. I remember she would say to people, "You continue talking, I'll just listen," and because she hated small talk. But there is a, and it was kind of a funny way for her to do that. But there is a way to actually study to not study to uh, there are some tips that you can do to actually improve your small talk skills. And today what I'm going to do is present to you what is called the 3 A's of small talk. It's
Uh, sorry,
A.
sorry, teacher. Sorry, teacher.
Uh-huh.
I didn't exactly understand. What does it mean, small talking?
Yeah, well, I'll talk to you. I'll explain that to you as well. Small talk, actually, in some cultures, small talk is um, the talking about really nothing before you really talk about the important stuff.
I'm got it. It's maybe looks like if you say someone, how are you?
Mm-hmm.
How are you?
Exactly.
It didn't demand answer that questions.
Exactly. Exactly. And or a lot of times people will be at parties, it's especially at parties or in social situations and work and things like that. A lot of people will really not know what to really say after they have said "How are you?" And I've noticed this a lot in even in my classes in the last couple of days when I have people ask questions back and forth. They're not actually following a lot of these conversation rules. So I'll go over this with you real quick. Okay, so the first one, it's AAA, a quick trip. Next week it will be a small talk. It will be topic surfing. So that's actually quite fun as well. So the idea for a small talk on AAA is somebody will ask you a question, and you you answer the question, you add and you answer the question, then you add a little bit of information, not too much, and then you ask them the question back or ask them another question. So you answer, you add, and you ask. And let me give you an example of a good small talk, a poor small talk conversation and a good one. A, how was your weekend? Fine. Then there's silence because the person hasn't gone further than that. My entire, almost my entire 11 years in Finland, I could go in on Monday and Tuesday mornings to my classes, and I could say, how was your weekend? And they would say fine. And they might actually even tell me what they did. They might say fine, I went skiing. But they never continued the conversation. I always had to what you'd say is I had to actually carry the conversation because they were not actually asking me anything. So I would always have to keep asking them questions, but otherwise there would be silence. So a good small talk conversation goes like this. So well, let's have two people read this. Why don't we have Sarah? Why don't you read A? And anybody, Ellen, why don't you read B?
Okay. How was your weekend?
Yes, great. I went skiing. How was yours?
Fine. I had a normal weekend at home. So, where did you go skiing?
I went skiing near my house on some cross-country tracks. Do you ski very much?
Well,
And then you could say, well, I don't ski or I do ski or whatever. And then what you're doing is you're instead of having one person carry the conversation, you're turn taking. And so you might actually end up, yeah, exactly. It's like Andrea, it's like a tennis game. And that's actually what small talk is. And in some cultures, some cultures, like for example in Finland where I lived, their small talk was like a bowling match. One person talked at a time, and so they had to actually learn to play play tennis with small talk, and we actually would do that with crumpled up pieces of paper or balls. But a good small talk conversation, both people are asking questions and both people are answering. And so much of the time, a person will do this part. They'll say, fine, I had a normal weekend at home, but they won't go further. And so this whole part of the conversation is done, and then you sit there in awkward silence, or somebody carries the conversation and says, oh, so what is a normal weekend at home? Oh, okay, and then that person never gets to actually say anything. So, okay, so what we're going to do now is the following are some really general questions, okay? And so it says with your partner, but actually we're going to just do this as a class. Ask and answer these questions by using AAA. You can also ask questions you can ask other questions as well. So you don't have to list it to this, and try to talk as long as you can. So I'm going to I want 2 volunteers to start first, and I like your Igor, Andrei, I like how you saw that as a tennis game. So 2 volunteers for the first tennis match. Who wants to do that? If not, I get to volunteer you. Yay! Any volunteers?
Maybe IB.
Okay, and who's the second volunteer?
I can join. I would
Okay.
like to join.
Okay, excellent. All right, so let's go ahead and start. Whoever the first person who talked, I don't know, was that you, Joe?
No, it was. I believe his name is
Was that Andrei?
Andrei.
Okay. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and start the conversation. You can choose any of those questions or your own question.
Sorry. Hello. What is your name?
My name is Joe. I'm from Egypt. Where are you from?
I'm from Ukraine, from Kiev. How long you live in Egypt?
Till this year will be my 13 years to be in Egypt. I studied here in Egypt on my university, and also on the secondary educational level. But I'm planning to reallocate in a foreign country. Do you have plans like this, or do you live? What is your study? What is your major?
Actually, I'm a resident of Ukraine, of Kiev. I was born in Kiev, and I live here all my life.
Really?
I want to see, I want to see more different countries, and I learn English because of that. What for you learn language?
Yeah.
What
So
you learn language for?
so why are you studying English?
Yeah.
Why I'm studying English? Because, as you know, English is one of the first spoken language in the world. So if you want to have a good job, you have to learn English, and you have to speak it in a good way, in a patrician way. Do you know that I have one of my friends that is going to travel to Kyiv in next month, and I believe he's going to find a job there. Have you ever traveled out of Ukraine?
Yes, I was in Egypt several years ago with my family, with my wife and with my son. We were in the at the Red Sea for about 12 weeks.
Red Sea.
We were really enjoyed about that time. It was looks like a paradise tale for us.
Yes, actually it is. And where do you visit? Where have you been in Egypt?
At uh, I just forgot that name of city. It's at the
You
Red
went to
Sea. At the Red Sea, the
Dahab,
most famous city at the Red Sea.
Hurghada, Sharm
Hurghada,
el-Sheikh,
yeah, Hurghada,
Hurghada. Yeah,
Hurghada.
Hurghada is one of the most beautiful place in Red Sea. And
Yes.
I went there 1 year ago. I spent almost 1 week, and it was great. I met a lot of new friends, but actually, I I, uh, I would recommend to you to visit Dahab because it's a real a great country. I'm sorry, it's a real like a great place. Uh, it's a place away from civilization, and everything is there is on the way it was natural. It's like a small village, but with a lot of natural places.
Okay, so now, very good, guys. Now let's see if you can, one of you can add, go ahead and ask somebody else a question.
Okay.
And include them, like, have you been to Egypt? Or something like that.
Okay. Would you go for it, Andrew, or you leave for me? Okay. I would like to ask Igor. Have you ever been in Egypt?
I'm sorry, mate, I've never been to Egypt. Have you ever been to Russia?
No, but I would like to be to visit Russia. It's a big
Huh?
country with a lot of history, and I would like to take a visit there.
Well, it would be great.
What is the best place to visit in Russia?
Well, it depends on what you seek from your tourist trip. If you're, just tell me what kind of a trip would you like to take? Maybe tourist, a simple tourist trip, sightseeing, or maybe a natural tourist, like seeing the untouched lands.
I prefer to visit the historical places.
Well, if it's
And
well,
can you recommend a
if it's
place to
about
visit?
historical places, then I think your choices are Moscow and Saint Petersburg. Also, there is Poltava, and this is close to Moscow. And well, there are a lot of places really. So especially about the World War II. So what do you
Moscow
think
and
about
Petersburg, right?
Saint Petersburg? Yes.
St. Petersburg. And what can I visit in St. Petersburg? I mean, as a historical monument or historical place, what can find there interesting?
Well, there is the King Palace there, and well, I don't know how to translate this correctly, but I think it's called the King Square. So this is where the Russian kings used to sit and to rule people from. I think you would like it. Also, the architecture in St. Petersburg is astonishing. So you won't miss out if you go there. What do you think about that?
I like actually I find really interesting about the King Square. I would like to see the King Palace. Is it a museum right now? Can people visit and see how the palace it is inside, or just closed?
As far as I know, it's open for you to see. It might be a great trip. Also, I would like to, I would like to recommend visiting the Red Square in Moscow for historical scene. Also, there is a Kulikovo field. There was a battle between Russians and Mongolians a lot of time ago, but it was a turning point in the war, and that's a great place to visit too. And it's close to Moscow as well.
Good. So Red Square, you told me, right?
Yes, Red Square, and there is a lot of places to visit there. Maybe even if you even come to my city, to Omsk, you can. Well, there is no really historical events here, but there is some kind of historical architecture. There is a special district there with Victorian architecture, and if you like historical architecture, I think it would be a great place to visit too. And I would even, allow you to stay in, so that you don't pay for a hotel or something.
Okay, now, could somebody else join into this conversation and have both of them talk, and all three of you try to talk?
So it will going as three.
Yeah,
three.
let's try to do three now, and then maybe we'll move to everybody eventually.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so maybe Alan. Alan, you want to jump in too? Ask a question.
Yes.
Or if you were listening to them, that's for sure. If you weren't, then don't.
Yes.
Alan, would you like to join me visiting Igor hometown?
I haven't been in Russia and I don't know much about Russia, but I would like to know more about it. Is the generally is Russia the temperature or the weather always cold or warm? Which month would you recommend to people to come to Russia for tour the Russia? Igor?
Well, I was just talking about Russia attractions. In short, Moscow, St. Petersburg, Poltava, Kulikovo Field, and if you like natural tourism, like watching their untouched nature, untouched by man, then go to the Far East, like Vladivostok and other places. But enough about Russia. I would like to know about your place. Where are you from, by the way?
Okay. What is the best time to go to Russia? Do you think?
Sorry, man.
But Alan, did you hear him? He asked another question. He asked you a question.
Oh no, sorry. I missed.
So repeat that, Igor.
I would like to know about your place.
Oh, my place, yes. Hong Kong. Hong Kong is my home city. I think Hong Kong is a small city, and it's we are famous in the. I think if you come to Hong Kong, you may go to the peak. The peak.
What is it like? Sorry, what is it like in Hong Kong?
It is a city, a country jungle. A country jungle everywhere. I think maybe our everywhere is building and building. We don't have many house. We because the place is small, people is crowded in the city. So you will see a lot of building in the small island because actually,
So it's a small
yes,
island, and the population is a big population. People are crowded.
yes, the density of the population is quite high. People live in actually Hong Kong has three main parts. Hong Kong, Kowloon, and what called New Territory. The Hong Kong side is actually an island at the south of the China.
Ah,
So
by the way, Alan, I heard that there in China there is a really curious game like betting on fireworks, like fireworks fight. Is it true?
firework.
No, we don't have.
Fireworks fight.
Yeah.
You can
I
bet
don't.
on them.
I
We
believe you
have
mean
fireworks. Yeah.
the boxing, like kung fu,
Well, like a
free
fight.
boxing, right?
That's a fight. It's not about
Yeah,
boxing.
I think boxing is famous in Thailand. In Hong Kong, I think there's a place that you can visit, like Ocean Park and Disneyland.
And how is it called in Thailand? That kind of boxing, Sarah?
Thai
How
boxing.
cool. Thai boxing, yeah. I think so. I'm not from
Okay.
Thailand, but I've been there once, yeah. But you can pay like $10, you can watch the boxing game. It's just like a tour show. If whoever go there, you can see their boxing game. There's final, there's a lot of that things, yeah.
A
Wherever
friend
you
of
be.
mine was in Thailand. He visited Thailand and he told me that it's a really great place. Food
It's
there is
really great.
great. Beaches
But
are really.
I
There is
think,
the sea.
yeah, what impressed me is their service. You just pay a very low price. You can get very good service there in Thailand. It's very cheap country.
Yeah, the told me that actually the nature there, it's stunning. You can actually see
Yeah, you can,
some good places to be in contact with the nature.
yeah, you can like Phuket Island. You can go there. It's like a breathtaking place. You can join the scenery there.
What
Yeah, I
about
believe.
ecology there? Ecological situation? Is it polluted or is it okay to live there?
Sorry, I didn't understand that question. Can you repeat that?
What about ecology in this city in Hong Kong? What can you tell me about the ecology? Is it good or is it polluted?
Loaded. Sorry, is anyone help me on that? Because I didn't understand the question.
Oh,
And
polluted
Sarah,
means dirty.
your microphone is breaking up. I can't understand you at all, Sarah. So I'm
Anyway,
not.
I have been in Egypt once for. It's a nice country. Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry, guys, but actually between Sarah and the eagle, I find really hard to understand what is said because of the voice distortion.
Mhm.
And
It's
yeah, I
problem
find
with the
really
connection. Yeah.
connection problem. Yeah, I believe.
Yeah.
Sorry
But
for that.
you,
Yeah.
I was wondering, where are you from, Sarah?
I'm from China.
China. Okay, it's a great place, I believe. And how is the internet connection there in China? I mean, the average speed in China of connection, internet connection.
Okay. We have 4G now, but this cannot compare the Korean 4G. It's very low. Chinese internet connection is kind of bad. Yeah. It's
I
not
think
developed. Yeah.
I think it's mostly not about the connection speed, but about connection stability. And Sarah right now is a great proof to this theory, I think. Sorry, Sarah.
Maybe it's the government controls all the connections. Yeah, maybe it's one of the reasons. But I've been Korea once, but their connections is great.
Sorry,
was-
I
don't.
believe the best place there is like internet connection is Japan. I remember that 2 years ago, one of my Japanese friends told me that the the 1 giga connection is getting popular in Japan, and actually that shocked me because here in Egypt I'm running with 2 megabyte internet connection, and he's talking about 1 giga connection that is going popular in Japan. So I said to myself, I wish I can go to live in Japan. Have
One day.
any of you went to Japan before?
I actually heard it was South Korea that had the really fast internet connections.
Yeah, that's what I heard of. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think Japan is still slower than South Korea.
And was this? Where did you hear that? Where did you hear that?
Where did I hear that?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even remember.
Yeah, it happens to me all the time. You know why? Maybe only because we now have Facebook. We have a lot of social media sites that got a lot of information running every day. We are every day exposed to a lot of information, a lot of posts that improve our information, but actually you cannot relate or not be able to think where I read
Where I
that or
heard it. Yeah.
yeah, where I found that out. Yeah,
Exactly.
It's easy to get lost all of this.
exactly. It's really easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This happens to me in English. Like sometimes I just know an English word, but I can't remember where I heard that or where I learned it.
And then you also, since you guys have British teachers, teachers from New Zealand, I'm going to get off of this, teachers from New Zealand, teachers from, all over, you have all the accents and you have the different vocabulary and, you might get corrected on something when it comes to pronunciation that is actually correct because the teacher doesn't know. So.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
Yeah, I've heard. I have anyway. I've heard a teacher teach pronunciation and to Japanese students, and he corrects their Japanese based on American pronunciation, and I hear the word and I'm like, that's a British English, but he's never lived in Europe, so he doesn't know that the person actually said it correctly. So.
I just have a story to share that perfectly fits what you just told. Like, I'm used to say things like, what about, would you, that's yeah. But when I was at a lesson with a British teacher, she just kept on correcting me, saying, what about, water, at you, would you, not would you.
Yeah.
Like that.
And well, I know my British colleagues. One time he came up to me and he said, "You all right?" It came out as "You all right?" but it's actually It was really are you all right? And you all right? And the way he sounded, it made it sound like there was really something wrong with me, and it was actually just how are you?
Yeah.
That's confusing.
Yeah.
Like about tomato and tomato. The British teacher told me you should say tomato, and the American teacher told me that even not the word.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And actually, it's funny because when I know the British, I'll teach both. British they say laboratory. The Americans we say laboratory. So, for example, but it's when you don't know.
Sorry. It's like I heard the same. Like the U.S. and British are two countries divided by the same language.
Yeah, it's very true. Well, now I think that's also true in the Spanish-speaking world as well. And in fact, isn't Spanish actually getting more popular than English in the respect that it's getting spoken. There's more Spanish speakers around the world, and also Chinese speakers than English speakers.
Yeah, but I believe this, Holly, it's because South Africa and almost South Africa. I'm sorry, South America, all of them speak Spanish, Latino.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason, because a huge number of population in the world speak Spanish.
Yeah.
But I believe that English, since the last 100 years, have had overcome the Spanish population. I mean, I believe almost 60% of the world speak now English, or at least knows a basic.
English.
So, but 5 miles from where I live,
Yes.
80% of the people in the little town that's just right near me speak Spanish. They're all Mexican American.
Is it a ghetto?
Yeah, well, no, it's not actually. So, but in the western part of Canyon County where I live, it's almost all Mexican American or all Spanish, and we have Spanish stores, and you go into the Mexican restaurants and they all speak Spanish, and they get services in Spanish and so forth. By the way, just a little bit of trivia. Do you guys know? Do you know what the USA's national language is?
American English.
I believe
Or not
native
national,
language.
official language. Official language, not national language. Official language. Do you guys know what the official language is?
You are saying.
It has to be English.
It has to be English?
Yeah.
Did you guys know that the United States of America does not have an official language?
Oh, that's funny.
And so if you guys go to the US and you go to, like, say for example, Sarah and Alan, you go to an area and you're living in an area where there's a lot of Chinese speakers, that area is obligated to give your driver's license test in Chinese.
Oh, that's good. That's cool.
Yeah, that's really.
You know,
good thing.
and yeah, so we have. Yeah, we have to provide this because we don't have an official language, and our country is made up of immigrants. We don't have to. I mean, a person doesn't have to actually be able to speak English to get services.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
who will understand them?
And that is really interesting, Holly. But what is the biggest community, or what is the biggest?
I think that will be American.
I don't know how to say it.
the international community, maybe.
And I mean the biggest number of immigration. Who are the?
Oh. I don't even know. I would say, at least in my area, it's Mexicans.
Mexican.
Yeah,
In your area.
yeah, but in every area it's a really different, because there's, like, for example, there's a huge Vietnamese community in Seattle, and there's Korean communities all over, and I don't even know. I do know that I met a guy in Finland who is from Spain, and no, he was from South America, and he'd lived in Spain, and he started dating a friend of mine, and she could speak Spanish, but he could not speak a word of English, and he had spent 3 years in Florida, and he never had to learn English. So.
Well, that's really interesting. How can a man live in a country and he doesn't speak the official language?
It was not the official language. That's the thing.
Yeah, it is very.
It's the work language. It's the language that's used, but it's not the official language. so he was able to get services in Spanish.
Yeah. As far
And
as I know, Florida is there are a lot of Cuban immigrants there. That's why they mostly speak Spanish there.
Yeah, that's why he was able
That's
to
why
go on.
he did not need to acquire the knowledge of the English language there.
Yeah, I mean,
So
how
how
many?
about college or university? Which language do you use in college and university?
Actually, it's all English. I mean, English is used everywhere. There are some bilingual schools. There's a school in my area that started a few years ago that's bilingual English and Spanish. But most of the schools are English. But the official language is there. We have no English is not our official language, and so if people come and they can't speak English, they can't. They are the government is legally bound to get a translator or an interpreter, and so
Really?
so
Really?
yeah, yeah.
It is very interesting.
Yeah, so people are really worried about going to the U.S. and one time I read a Facebook joke one time where one of the problems in the U.S. is there are some people that they hear foreigners speak another language, and their attitude is speak English. You're in America, and they're very ignorant. You guys know that word? Speak English, you're in America. And this one lady was on the phone, and she was speaking another language, and the man walked up to her and said, speak English, you're in America. And she got off. She had gotten off her phone, and she said, I'm sorry, I was speaking Navajo, the language of my people. I think you should speak my language since we were here first. So, because Navajo is American Indian, so there are a lot of Americans who are very ignorant, and they don't realize that we are a country of immigrants, and we welcome foreigners as long as they come here illegally, So. And yeah, I personally don't have a problem with illegal aliens either, but that's my personal feeling. Anyway, I started
Are
dominating the
there
conversation.
many illegal there?
Excuse me? What did you say, Igor? Hello?
Igor has been disappeared.
Yeah. Okay. He said something about there are many illegal immigrants there. Absolutely, absolutely. There are many. In fact, I actually know an illegal alien. We actually say illegal alien.
Alien. It's not a nice word.
Why alien?
I don't know. I don't know. Alien. That is actually. It's just. Alien means foreigner.
Yeah.
Really? That's
Yeah.
the word alien means
It
foreigner?
also means yeah. It also alien also means life on other planets.
So, as far as I know, aliens like something you don't understand, something that is not what you're accustomed to.
I'm sorry, I still didn't understand you. I think my system. I think my computer's tired. It's been yours is even more tired. Igor, isn't this your 5th class?
Maybe, I don't know.
He's been in every one of. This is my 4th class this time, and he's been in every one of them. So.
But it must be really late. Must be really late for you, but for me it's a good time.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's almost 3 a.m., so I'm heading to bed as soon as we're done.
I was trying to say that I think that alien, in its original sense, it's something that you're not accustomed to.
Yes, I think you're probably right. Which people from thanks to things like verbling, and technology, we're actually we're actually getting more and more connected. But people just especially people who have not traveled, they just don't know that we're all the same. So.
Yeah, well, I believe it is possible to say something like, I don't want to offend anybody there, like, Chinese culture is alien to me, something like that.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say Chinese. I would say Asian.
Yeah, but I said that
You know.
I didn't want to offend anybody.
Yeah.
It's just an example.
Yeah, I didn't realize it, but the only continent I have not been on is Africa, and then I've not been to Australia in that area, and I think we're all aliens to each other.
Believe me, Holly, you miss a lot. You should visit Africa.
I need to. I need to go to Egypt. I know several people. I know some Egyptian teachers, some Arabic teachers in Egypt, and alien. Okay, let's talk about that. Has anybody actually seen that movie?
Which one?
What is it? Sigourney Weaver, Alien. It was made back in the 80s.
No.
There's Alien. And then the second movie is Aliens, and the third movie is Alien 3.
Is it the one that won a lot of Oscars?
Yeah, I've only seen Aliens. I didn't see the first one or the third one. I didn't like it. So. But it's a sci-fi movie actually. So, all right. So
I have seen one movie. Person, he called aliens. Through by his internet, and after aliens come to the planet.
So he was able to, because of modern technology, he was able to get a hold of aliens, and they came to visit him.
Yes, it's a kind of Indian movie. Yeah.
That's really cool, actually. I would have been. I have to be honest. I'm an alien. So I'm actually not in Idaho. I'm up in Mars. So.
But I really like the word. Next time I'm gonna call you are alien. Who is foreigner?
Yeah, exactly. When I was a child, we actually used it. It was a joke, that because aliens are two different. Aliens are foreigners, or aliens are people from outer space, and with the foreigners that I knew, I would call them aliens, and we would joke about it. So.
But I have a question. It's a polite word to say you are alien, or we should say you are foreigners.
Well, actually, I think it depends on the situation. For example, I think the more common term now is you're an international. That's like for example, some people would say foreign group, like he's part of the international group on campus. Say at a university, he's part of the international group on campus. He's an international. That's a university. I have heard foreigners, and the only time I hear alien is when we use it with illegal.
Okay.
So alien, even though we can say you're you're a legal alien, we don't usually say that. We would say if somebody's an illegal immigrant, we would say they're an illegal alien. And
okay.
So yeah, I'm not sure why that is.
Really cool. Sounds strange, but actually it's cool.
But if you like sci-fi, then you like that idea.
I just read the definition of alien. It says that alien is used in official context, and everyday English foreigner is used, but can sound disapproving or unfriendly.
It
To avoid
can.
this, people often used the expression "people from other countries" instead.
People do use that expression. They would say people from other countries. So
illegal alien is an official term.
I think that we would still say an illegal immigrant. We would probably not say an illegal alien. It's slang. It's slang. You'd have to. What I would do, if I were you guys, I would Google it and see if you can find it. See if you can find the illegal alien on a newspaper site. And it might be more official, but I know that it started out as slang. So it may have been. I don't even know how it started out. It might be something interesting to research, actually, if people had time to do that. So, all right. So we have a few minutes left of class. I'm going to bed. The PDF of the 3A's. Yeah, I actually did. I upload it when you go. Let me look. The 3A's. No, I did not upload it. I will upload it after class. The PowerPoint slide that I had.
Good. Where can I find it?
Well, usually, let me screen share that part. Usually, when for example. You can usually, if a teacher has provided the material, and I forget sometimes to do it because it's kind of buggy to add it on there. It's right here, and you can download it there. So for some of the material I did today, like I did a class on business idioms today, you can just find it right there. So,
I'm sorry. Where can I find it?
Well, what you're going to do, first of all, let's go here. Later on, go under recorded. Okay, and then say, for example, this is the last class that I was in. See this? This is actually the material that I used in class.
I'm sorry, Holly, but actually you're not sharing your screen, you are sharing the video camera, so I'm not able to see the screen itself.
I thought I was sharing my screen. I'm sorry. Thanks for telling me. Okay, it's 3 in the morning. It's 3 in the morning. Okay, let's do it the right way. Okay, so you come to this screen, right?
Okay.
And you press on the recorded things, and then you go to the class that you had been in.
Okay.
And then you go down to the end, and it's right here on class material.
Okay, that's cool.
But for the 3A's of small talk, I have not added it, so I can do that right after class. So.
I would be grateful if you do that because I find it really interesting, and I would like to keep it as a referral in order to read it back when I need it, and actually read it after the class.
Excellent.
If you can.
Perfect. And next week we're going to actually continue on with that at the same time, I believe, or around the same time. It will be topic surfing, which is so you practice the 3A's of small talking and you go on to topic surfing, which you guys really actually did good today at doing, but you didn't realize you were doing it. So
great teacher we got.
Yeah, thank you. So, all right. Well, you guys have a wonderful day, and I'm heading to bed. And as they say in Finland, hyvää päivää jatkoa, or continue to have a good day. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank
good
you.
Night.
Thank you. Have a good dream, Holly.
I will. I will dream very well. Thank you. All right. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you very much, Holly.
Thank you.